Inspiration TV. Mein Name ist Schmitz und ich freue mich riesig, dass du wieder dabei bist. Ich bin Moderatorin und Inspirationscoach und in diesem Format bringe ich Menschen zusammen, die sich gegenseitig weiterbringen wollen. Und wenn du gerade dabei bist, dein Leben neu auszurichten und neu zu gestalten, dann bist du hier genau richtig. Denn hier sind Menschen, die ihre Geschichte erzählen, die ein unglaubliches Produkt geschaffen haben oder einfach durch ihren Lebenslauf inspirieren. Und viele von euch wissen, dass ich viel in der Welt unterwegs war und da habe ich ganz spannende Menschen getroffen und unter anderem auch eine digitale Nomadin. Das heißt, eine Person, die unterwegs ist in der Welt und von überall aus arbeiten kann. Und sie heißt Stéphanie Desquerre und sie lebt heute in Bali und hat auch ein Buch geschrieben, vom Eventmanager durch ein Burnout hin zum digitalen Nomaden und wie sie das geheilt hat. Und darüber sprechen wir heute. Herzlich willkommen and welcome to the show. Stephanie, hi.
Hi, Julia. How are you? Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to meet you again because we met on the Nomad cruise in 2017. That's a boat, like a conference on the sea where digital nomads come together, inspire each other. And this was such an amazing event. And there we have met.
Amazing time. It's been 3 years already. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it. It's just so crazy. Yeah, time flies.
And we've gone a long way since this time. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and we both of us had an extremely personal growth and so many changes in life. And how is your life looking right now at the moment? Tell the people what you are doing and take us to your journey.
Sure. So like you said it, I understood a little bit what you said in German. Now I'm a digital nomad. I've been nomading for 3 years and I've had my own business for 3 years. I actually started working as a virtual assistant and I started traveling all over the world. I already like traveling, so this was the normal thing to do for me, but working for myself was quite new. So I went to many countries in 3 years. I went to live in Colombia for 4 months, in Panama, 2 months in Spain, in Portugal. Now I'm in Bali in Indonesia. It's been on and off 10 months since last year because I really like it here. But I never stay in the same house. I constantly move around. I take my laptop.
Nomadism at the place where you are, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to so many countries in Europe, in India, in Asia, and in South America. So that's the way I live my life now, traveling and working online.
And what inspires you to travel the world? What does it give to you?
Well, traveling, you know, it's very different when you start having a nomadic lifestyle compared to just traveling, like, you know, when you have a job and you have 5 weeks off per year and you want to go travel for 1 week there or 3 weeks there. It's not the same way of experiencing travel and experiencing life in general. So what I like about it is that by being away, you know, from home, that's when you actually create new habits. When you get out of your comfort zone, it's when you really get to know yourself, because especially when you're traveling solo, alone, like me, like you, like other people, like you have to build everything again from scratch to get to know people, to make connections, to face difficulties by yourself. So it forces you to, you know, to get those resources from inside and to really get stronger and to enjoy life in a different way.
And when did you really realize that traveling is also a journey in personal growth? Because some people go traveling around the world for a year, but not really hear the inner voice or change something in life. And your journey was like this. You healed yourself through traveling, through becoming a digital nomad. How did that happen?
Totally, you're right. Well, so what happened is that a few years ago, I left France and I went to New Zealand. And like you explained it, I suffered burnout and depression. But I always liked traveling, actually. I stayed in New Zealand for 2-3 years. And then I realized that living as an employee, you know, or doing things for other people was not for me anymore. So I had to investigate and to really go deep inside of me to figure out what I wanted to do of my life. And this burnout was actually, it's hard to say, but it was actually a great opportunity to rise again and shine, you know, and go towards my purpose and my dreams. So all in one, I just enjoyed traveling so much that it became a lifestyle. And now it's just how I love to live my life, questioning my habits, questioning who I am, getting to know other people, cultures, learning languages, never taking things for granted, you know. And it's just really the way I feel that is the best way I can live my life.
Let's travel back a bit. So after school, you decided directly to become an event manager, or what were the steps you became the person you were until the burnout? And then we will talk later about the rest.
So I had no organizational background. Like I never did a diploma or degree, you know, to learn about events management. My background, my degree is translation, actually. English and Spanish.
All right.
And I always had this passion, you know, for other cultures, other countries. So I got into events management because I'm organized, you know, I can plan out things pretty easily, and for me it's quite logics, and I'm good at it. So I went to New Zealand, found that job, and they hired me because I was really willing, you know, to show what I could do, that I was good, that I wanted to be there. I was full of life and energy, and they saw that.
That's how we are, no?
Yeah. Yeah, we
All
are,
right,
definitely.
but then somehow there was a point, okay, you did this in France already, and then you went also to New Zealand to do that because you like traveling, so you were searching a job in this kind of work and travel universe, or how was that?
No, I was organizing conferences back in France. I was an assistant project manager, and I was helping to organize around 20 scientific conferences a year, which was a big job. And then when I went to New Zealand, they hired me because I had this experience, and it had nothing to do with travel. It was in the wedding industry. And I was in New Zealand. I stopped traveling for a bit, and then I settled for 2 or 3 years, and I worked as a wedding manager there.
And when did you hear this tiny little voice that something is not good, something is not working? Because like also a burnout, sometimes you realize it way too late, right?
Yeah. Well, it actually came, burnout, you know, is something that doesn't knock on the door and, oh, you open it, it's there. No, it's not that obvious. It's something that comes into your life very gracefully, let's say, like you don't see it coming. And you start exhausting actually your inner resources, your physical resources. And it can be 6 months, it can be less than that, it can be more than that. For me, it took 1.5 years to realize that I was getting really tired and exhausted. And really after 2 years, that's when I couldn't stop working anymore, and I had to quit my job once, then the next job twice, and then another job 3 times. So it came back in my life because I was not understanding what I was doing wrong.
So like life is always giving you a present all the time again to say, hello, you have to change something.
Hello. I was a robot. I used to work 14 hours a day, sometimes 17 hours a day, 5 times a week. I was working 70 hours a week, like for almost 2 years. And I really drained all my energy. But I was working with my mind constantly, you know, and at the end of the night when I was running weddings and I was getting tired, I was still using my mind energy. to move forward.
Mm.
And that's when the drama happened, is that after a while, this one started to tell me, no, you need to slow down. And I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention to it.
And what was the moment where you turned around, where you said, okay, now it's done, zero?
The thing is that when you have a lot of pressure, a lot of stress at work, you constantly question yourself, you know, and you constantly try to give more and try to be the best person you can. So that's what I was doing. I didn't want to disappoint anybody around me. I didn't want to do my work in a wrong way. But there was one day where my whole body and heart just dropped. I was gonna organize, I think that was before a wedding. I was in the restaurant room serving people for a wedding, doing like food tasting. Mm-hmm. And I remember my boss asked me for another thing to add up to my daily tasks, which were huge already. And my mind just broke down. I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't talk to him anymore. And my whole body just didn't respond anymore in the middle of the room. And I was speechless, and I thought I cannot do anything. I felt like I was mummified. And then I had to go outside, and for 1 hour I cried my heart out. And I came back and I thought, that's it. I cannot push my limits anymore. I cannot disrespect myself anymore and not do like what feels right for me. But at the time it didn't feel right to do that. I still felt very guilty for quitting my job and for not being able to go back to work, you know. But that's how a big breakdown during work. That's what stopped me.
Yeah, and then did you just cancel the job and never got back? And because some people, they say, okay, I just quit for several days, several weeks, and then they start again and running into the next thing. Or was there already a tiny voice that got louder where you said, okay, what do I really want? Or how did it work with your inner?
So I had this, my little voice telling me a year before that I wanted to quit that job. Which I said to my boss, but they got me back with a little bit more money, which wasn't very substantial, but it got me for a while. And then after that, a few months later, I stopped working for the off season for winter. So I left, and it gave me 4 months to recuperate. During those 4 months, I got another job, which was really bad as well, really exhausting. And when I came back to my wedding job, I was really tired, but I still had that new energy, you know, because I had been off work for a while. And this voice was coming back like every week in my head, telling me, no, this is not okay. You need to stop. But I couldn't picture myself out of the job and doing other things. So my guilt was constantly there, and I just thought I had no other option but to continue.
All right.
But I had options, but I had to quit to realize I had other options.
Yeah, and this is also an interesting thing, no? Because so many people who are in that phase, they don't see any other options, because it's just like all broken down. You think, okay, you failed or whatever, and then where did the motivation or the, I don't know how you call it, but this little plan coming out that, okay, I can create my life, I can become another person?
It didn't happen all of a sudden. It took, I would say, at least 6 months to 1 year before I had that realization. So I quit my job. I wondered if I made the right decision. I felt guilty for many months. Then I found a new job, which was even worse. Also 80 hours a week this time.
Manager or something else?
As an operations and events manager for a catering company in New Zealand, like the #1 company in Auckland. Mm-hmm. So like we had lots of events. Instead of having 20 events per month, we had 20 events per week.
Okay, so it's worth. Give you another sign, so stop, please. And then?
But, you know, I have a strong mind. I have a very, very strong one here, which thinks it's right all the time. So I think that's also why life through me these experiences, because it had to break. My mind had to break in order for me to unlearn my way of being, my way of thinking, my way of respecting myself, so I could learn new ways to be, to live, and to experience life.
Which were the essential steps you took to find your way, your purpose, your why, to hear your inner voice then?
So after that, I had to take some time off. So I took more than 6 months off work. I was still volunteering in a yoga place for a bit, but trading hours against room and yoga classes. I didn't really stop working, but still, I was doing a lot less. And slowly I had these ideas of setting up a business, working for myself, regaining energy. I started reading a lot of self-help books, psychology books, watching videos, learning about self-development, about setting boundaries, about happiness in life, what we're here for, the meaning of life. And slowly, month after month, I found more meaning, and I realized what I did wrong.
Was it like a click that you said, I don't know, you met a person, or you had a sentence that you read in a book and you said, oh, yeah, because sometimes
I started having like thousands of clicks. I'm not going to say like I just woke up one day and I realized, no. Right. No, it was very gradual. I would say it took 4 to 6 months where I constantly was reading new things, learning, and then after a while it made sense. And then I just had to really unlearn, to destroy the way I used to think, by learning yoga, meditation, by implementing new information in my database.
Your hard drive.
And seeing new ways, new people. So I met one digital nomad when I was still in this yoga place where I volunteered for 5 months. And that opened my perspectives. And from there, I started realizing I could definitely become my own boss and start traveling. Why not?
And where was this yoga place? In which country?
In New Zealand, in Auckland.
Okay, so you started there, you met a digital nomad there, and what was you feeling when you met the first digital nomad, and there's a completely new universe opening if you meet somebody of this world, right?
No, definitely. You know what I felt? I thought he was full of joy. I thought he looked really happy, that he was peaceful with his life choices. He had a YouTube channel, actually. He was Brazilian, and he was traveling the world and creating videos and trading his time. He had a blog as well. And I was like, wow, this man looks really happy. I want that too. So this just triggered ideas. And then I created my website to become a virtual assistant. And then I started doing cruises in Europe, where we met, like Nomad cruise, learning how to become a digital nomad and getting to know other people with the same mindset, of questioning life.
Okay, so you were a digital nomad, or you were a virtual assistant already before you met the Nomad cruise, right?
Exactly.
I started I thought as well you were inspired on the Nomad cruise as well to become a virtual assistant. No, okay.
No, I was already. I started my business a few months before Nomad cruise, and actually, so after New Zealand, I came back to France, and there one of my family members lent me a camper van, a motorhome. To be more precise, like a massive
home. I saw it already.
Remember? You saw some pictures. And I started actually working from there, setting up the business from there, inside the motorhome on the table.
And tell people what a virtual assistant is. I guess some people don't know what you can do, because you can do it in many fields, right?
Yeah. So a virtual assistant is you know, like an office assistant, somebody who can help you with administration, with social media, with invoices, with programming, like coordinating, following up, even for sales, depends what specialization they have. But instead of doing it from an office, they do it virtually. So you just need to know how to use the right tools, like the right video systems, the right online databases or Google Drive and all these things, and to be a bit more techy than usual, and then it's all good. Just need to check the time zone, find the right clients, and make sure you're available when they need you.
And did you really decide at one point to do this, or was it like sliding into it slowly because you like traveling, and then there was their job? And also, what do you do today?
Yeah. So no, I had it really clear in my mind. I wanted to be a virtual assistant. So I did that for a while, for 2 years, I think. And I slowly became more of a business manager for my clients, like really coordinating projects, more just like little tasks. And I did that for a while because I had to train myself, you know, to be able to work online, to use all these methods, all these tools, all this marketing, this digital marketing, because you have to become good in marketing as well, even if you don't like it. And yeah, you know what I'm saying. You have to learn to become
one woman show. So you have to, it's like you study a lot of things again, or you become a completely new person, because you need to be a graphic designer, you need to be an online marketer, website creator, if you don't want to pay so many.
Exactly. Yeah. I also learned how to create websites, everything. Like I can do so many things now. I don't know anymore how to label myself. Apparently we label that an entrepreneur. Somebody able to do everything. And so after that, so yeah, I started helping my clients. I knew that being a virtual assistant would just be the beginning. I wanted to learn technology, time zones, being a nomad, seeing if it can actually work to have a business online and to travel at the same time. Find my comfort zone in the uncomfort zone, I should say. And after that, I slowly shifted, and now I'm in this transition because I wrote a book last year about my journey.
I have it here.
Burnout, the digital nomad.
Oh, you got it.
And thank you so much. Yeah.
Who know French or who speak French, you should try to get this book. It's called From Du Burnout, à Digital Nomad. So I will put the link in the show notes down later.
You know, it's available in English now. It's going to be out on Sunday on Amazon.
Hey, congratulations. Very good.
Merci beaucoup. Danke. I'm so proud. And I need to tell you guys that Julia helped me actually for this book. Because when I was lost, I was still searching who I am, still like questioning things. I gave her a call, and I remember we had those 2 hours speaking openly about burnout, about depression, about the meaning of life, about how to find inspiration in your life. And all the things we shared together really gave me lots of energy to write this book.
Thank you.
Because in the beginning, I was like, am I crazy? Like, what is this burnout thing? Like, I had no idea if I was right or wrong, if my perspective was right or wrong. So by talking with you and other people, it really helped me write this book and understand.
Yeah, thank you. And we had the same history. I can say it clearly as well. I had a burnout way before you, I guess. I had it in 2015. When was it for you? 16, right? or something.
16.
Yeah, so we were on the same track, and then I became also an inspirational coach and all that, and yeah, and we love traveling, and that's the magical thing that happens if you meet like digital nomads or traveling the world, and you are on a searching journey, then it's just unfolds your personal growth, because it's the start when you have this big pain, and then yeah, a new life starts.
Actually, we realize that it's a never-ending journey.
It is.
Because the more we learn what we're capable of and how we can heal, and the more we actually let out the potential of who we can become. And I think it's an amazing journey actually to get closer to who we truly are and to trust ourselves, you know, and then to become, like they say, the best version of ourselves. So that's really what's happening.
Yeah, and can you tell people who are perhaps in this kind of phase now, searching for a new orientation, or also, yeah, feeling something is not working, I need to get inspired, I need to get the next steps, but I don't know which steps. What helped you a lot, and what did you also write in your book? We don't want to spoil everything, but perhaps I would say the three.
Well, there's so many things I'm talking about in the book. We won't have time to say it all here.
But tell us perhaps the 3 best learnings.
So the 3 best learnings is that I learned about who I am. I don't know how to say, but it's very it's a personal journey. But I learned to trust myself. I learned to see where I made mistakes. I learned to see that I was self-blaming. I had too much guilt. Like all my mechanisms and my patterns were stopping me from doing what I wanted and from daring to have a different life. Mm-hmm. So I really learned to not care about what people might think, and to just do what I feel like doing, because we're very different from one person to another. And sometimes we want to, you know, I learned as well to detach from society and to, let's say, to get out of the matrix a little bit and to just be myself. And myself is what? Myself is a free soul. Somebody who wants to be free and to be happy and not to conform to what other people say. And that's very important, to learn to decondition our minds, to unlearn what we learned in our childhood and in our lives, and to become the person we really want to be. And so the third point is that I learned that I have a big heart. And by saying that, now I don't feel ashamed anymore of saying that I want to help the world change or evolve, you know. I want to have a meaningful life. I want to impact other people's life by just showing them that I did it, and that it was hard, but with a little bit of work and trust, we get there.
How is your work today? What are you doing every day, and how do you help people? How do you earn your money? What's your business?
So now I have reconnected, let's say, thanks to yoga, meditation, to the spiritual aspect of life. And now I'm more like connected to energies, to other people. I see things from a different perspective, not anymore from myself, but more for the collective, for humanity. And as you see now, we are in a very specific situation in the world right now. Things are changing. A lot of things are not okay anymore. And people are realizing that. And so right now what I'm doing is that I've decided to go full speed into what I believe is right, which is helping other people develop themselves, to be more self-aware, to understand how the mind works, how the body works, to have a more healthy lifestyle. So I'm currently writing another 2 books about
two books at the same time.
At the same time, yeah, because you know, still got a lot of things in here. And one about self-development, and another one about spirituality, to share it in French for the moment, for people to understand how to apply spiritual principles in their lives, to see life differently, and to really move forward with lots of things. And I also created a YouTube channel in French since a few months, where I publish short videos every day about self-development, spirituality, consciousness, healthy lifestyle, nomadism, all the things that inspire me. I share them to inspire others.
So what is life for you?
Life is magical when we learn to see it.
And who inspired you, or what inspired you?
Other people, nomads, myself.
And what is your
inspiration is everywhere if we open our eyes.
Okay. And what is your biggest wisdom you learned, or you always take with you every day, perhaps?
I learned when I was deep down in depression. One day I heard someone say that life is impermanent, that suffering passes. So now when I live my life, I know that everything is impermanent and that everything will pass. Something new will come. And so when I'm struggling, or when I'm not happy or dissatisfied, I think that tomorrow will be a better day.
Oh, thank you. For this last sentence, I would just say we wrap it up like this, because it's such an amazing wisdom we can take. And I'm so happy that we have met, and thank you for your time. It was amazing to meet you again. And good luck for everything what is coming, and for the books that are coming. Thanks
a lot, and it was really nice to speak with you again.